Hi, this is Adam Levine from the Learn Best Grow Show. Unfortunately, my partner Tay Kami could not make it today, but we are in for a special treat. We have Brad from InvestNext. How are you doing, Brad?
Doing well. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, so the purpose of this episode is really to we want to talk about the importance of a world-class investment management software. There's a lot of different companies to choose from. Levine Capital, we looked at multiple companies and we actually use InvestNext. So Brad, so tell us a little bit more about you and your company.
So I started in private equity, so capital raising for different syndications about 5 years ago out of Ann Arbor. So I worked for a private equity fund there. And at the time, we needed a software platform to use because we were using spreadsheets like I'm sure a lot of new GPs, syndicators, private equity firms do. So we were using Google Sheets and got to so many investors in projects that we just couldn't handle and accurately kind of monitor all of our investors and the distributions, the capital contributions, the waterfalls, et cetera. So just got to good problem to have. We had so many that was starting to kind of be a problem. So we started looking for investment platforms to manage those, and we found InvestNext. So InvestNext was just down the road. It was about four years ago. Two guys from Detroit area, which was perfect for us for being from Michigan. Detroit's kind of like an upstart software, kind of little tech in the Midwest, and met the guys and were just blown away at the platform at this point. And this was 4 years ago. So started converting over. And at the time we were their third client that they had. So brand new startup. They'd done a read already. So we were a little skeptical of like, hey, is this company gonna stick around? We're converting all this stuff over there. Couldn't have been happier. So for the first 6 months, I'd gone back and forth with them like, hey, we need to have this on the platform. They'd come back with some ideas as they continued to grow. So it was kind of a great relationship because I'd seen the platform from its kind of infancy and kind of grow up from that point. And they were giving me ideas that would help me as, raise capital as well too. So it was awesome to see it from, almost the ground and then kind of go up. So fast forward a couple years ago, about a year and a half ago, I had an opportunity to quit the private equity sector and come on board with InvestNext. So I came on with the team, and some of my day-to-days are customer success, onboarding, helping our clients like yourself get familiar with the platform, then also business development, kind of like all hands on deck with kind of different aspects of the company. So it's been awesome watching the platform grow from the beginning to where it is today. Now we're just continuing to keep that trend going. And the growth seems to be pretty good for 2021. So
Wow, that's a bit. And how long have you been InvestNext been around for?
Well, we were their third client back then, so it's around 4 years now, right around that point. So yeah.
And I just saw actually an advert. I think it was a press release. You have some VC money now backing you guys.
Yeah, and got a couple investors. One of the main ones is Detroit Ventures, which was Dan Gilbert's group. So Dan Gilbert's invested a ton of money in the Detroit area, done the same thing over in Cleveland. So couldn't be happier to have partners like Detroit Venture. So we're excited to see what that partnership's going to look like over the next. This will be a good year for us for, like I said, growth and just partnering and piggybacking off some of their ideas and some of their suggestions. So that's awesome. You actually saw that though.
Yeah. I'm always studying. So like that's amazing. So like, I guess tell us like, okay. So like, for example, I know for us, like Levine Capital, can we go the route with no investment management software? We could, but it gives it more of a better experience for the investors. You want to explain a little bit more how that helps?
Yeah, you've seen, because I went through it as well. So I went through it when we were just doing spreadsheets. So someone would call and ask how much, can I see my money? I have $450,000 invested with you. How do I know all my returns that I've got so far? how can I see what my cash on cash returns are or annual returns, et cetera. We didn't have anything for that. We'd have to draft it up, kind of queried. So it'd be ad hoc based off of whoever had reached out to us. Then we'd draft something up in an Excel and then send it out to them. And hopefully that suffice. So, so the concept behind it is that almost like your bank account. So when someone logs in their bank account, they can check and see everything and just feel good about the fact that they've invested with you because they can see that. So it gives you a little more professionalism, especially when you're raising capital, helps with that. But I guess to answer your question, for investors, it's great to have something. If I have, if all I have is $50,000 and I'm invested at $50,000, to have a place where I can see it and visually, say, all right, I have the $50,000 there. I've received X amount of preferred return. I've received X amount of capital return to this point, and this is how it's going versus trying to track, go through my bank account and try to look at all the distributions. So just to see it in one spot, I think provides professionalism for you as a GP, or as a syndicator or a private equity fund or whatever you want to call your company. But so it's just a good spot to kind of showcase what you've done for them to see all that.
And there's lots of crowdfunding is like from the 2012 Jobs Act. Now there's so many crowdfunding platforms out there.
Yeah.
And and there's so many different there's so many different companies to choose from. And in a way, Levine Capital, are we crowdfunding? Yeah, in a way we are, because investors are investing online.
Right.
And it's really cool how like investors could I spoke to an investor yesterday, and it was really simple. He just spoke the first time, and we're on the phone, and I sent him an investor invite to the portal, and he was able to look at everything right away, boom, like that.
Yeah, it's nice because if you had a deal room set up, you can then, if it's well, I know you have a couple for some of them, but so if you've got that deal room, you can send them to, if you're doing an active raise, you can send it, and then he can just run it. He or she can run it from that point, and you just send them. They can see all the documents for that project. They can see kind of a summary of snapshots and metrics, and then just invest right there through the portal.
And you could more or less customize your system to. I noticed what you guys is more like, and you guys are like real like responsive. Right? I need like an answer. I just reach out to you, and boom, you get right back to me. And just awesome.
I try. I'm traveling around more than so it might be a little slower now, but yeah, I try to get back as soon as possible. Or our support line's pretty.
And you guys are like customized our portal like in a way, which is really cool. How like you offer that customization.
Yeah, we'll white label it so you can put your information in there, and then obviously we want the experience to be, if someone goes to the Levine Capital website, that when they click on that login, that when it takes you actually to the portal, it doesn't give them a sense that they're leaving that they're kind of staying still with Levine Capital. So so the white labeling a nice feature to have. So
yeah, I like that. And like, so in terms of what new features, because I saw like there was updates recently. Actually, I'm actually curious. I've been meaning to ask you. Now we have you on the show. like, what were the new updates that recently happened, and what are you looking for the future? And updates and features.
So we've got, thanks to, we've basically since growth, since infancy, we've been just growing by word of mouth. So it's always, to me at least, it's always awesome when people are starting to see us, because we haven't spent a penny on any sort of marketing.
And that's how you got me, referral from Anthony Scantanaro. He, Red Knight Properties, we spoke, and he referred you guys to me. So
that's perfect. And that's what we're trying to go to. So our growth's been pretty intentional, where we haven't wanted to just get a ton of people. We wanted to make sure we can scale this. It's to the point where we really strongly believe we can scale this. So we've been just refer, kind of grow. But thanks to, for you guys, because I know Gracie always has like questions with that. She needs help with this, help with this. Stuff like that feedback helps us create these different features or different add-ons to the portal. So it's never going to be perfect. And I think there's a quote, if it's not broke, or if it's not broke, break it, because you think it's perfect, and then someone else is going to come in and just be like, no, I want to see this, I want to see this. So whenever we do think it's really good, that's kind of a bad point, because then we know like, all right, we need to fix it and change something, because something we want to add on So thanks to some of your suggestions, we've added a bunch of different things, but we recently added the ability, so you can send out a link when you got a deal room for a new capital raise. They can, the investor can register online, so they can create their own username, password that you've sent them a link, so you're comfortable with them. We can restrict that if you're 506B, or you can open it up 506C. But essentially, they can invest. I mean, they can look at the documents, invest through the portal. But at the end of the process, so they've signed all their documents, they're still in that one space. They can now send the money to you via the portal, so you can accept inbound ACH for it. So they can just log into their bank. The system will have them verify their bank account, and then they can ACH the money right there versus going to a bank and then wiring the money. So that's something new that we just had. So I don't know.
That's awesome, because I remember they had to go to the bank and wire. So now they could just ACH right to the portal, and then it goes right to the to our account. We don't have to go jump through hoops to the bank. And
exactly, or check it out. And it may seem pretty basic, pretty simple, but if you've raised capital and you have $1 million coming in from 14 different investors, trying to reconcile that or wait for it to come in, or if you're an investor that's invested individually, they sent money through an LLC, trying to reconcile that is always it's a pain. Doesn't seem like that hard. It's like, all right, I've got $1 million, not a big deal, but it saves you time, because it goes in. It'll mark funds received in the system based off the date that you received the ACH. You don't no longer have to do that. So you don't have to track the funds received. They basically are just sending it, and you're just, essentially you send the deal room link out, and then they should be able to fund everything and go from that point.
Is there like a limit on, so it's with I know, like, online wire, there's limits, so they had to go to the bank. So like, how's that work with limits? If you have let's say $100,000 investor coming in,
well, I mean, as long as it's fine with their bank, but I mean, our limit's I think it's 500,000 that the ACH will accept. So over that, we'd probably suggest going to the bank. Maybe some workarounds, but 500 is general rule of thumb. 500K from an investor is going to be cap. What you could do probably one day, then the next day.
I want to look into that. We'll definitely have to talk, because that's actually, I'm very happy you made it easier.
Yeah, we just added that. We've got a bunch of things down the road. Like I said, we've got some great partners, like Levine Capital, Red Knight, like you're saying, Scandariato and Leonard. They're always giving us feedback. So we got a bunch of things in our mind that we're not really letting out of the bag until they're actually out of the bag. Just because it's such a small industry.
No, I love it, because you guys are like personal. I talk with you or Kevin, the owners. There's a lot of other bigger shops, but you guys are like, it's more, personal, and like you said, like, you always take suggestions and implement it, and you're always like, if I need help, you'll jump on a Zoom meeting and walk me through whatever it is, which is really, that to me, that means a lot, Yeah.
Well, yeah, we try to help as much as possible. So, and I've been through it. Like I've never underwritten a deal. So that's not my cup of tea. It's not the point for finding deals, sourcing deals, getting financing for a deal. I've done, for the last 5 years, 4.5 years, I've done this back end stuff where it's like, now you've got the property, you're now raising investors. So that's kind of where my focus is, and where I can be pretty helpful is I can help you with your operating agreement. I'm always going to suggest you talk to your attorney, but I'll give you some feedback just based off of what I think when you're setting up whatever your distribution plan is, because you can set up a plan in the system, so the system can then calculate it too. So one of the things that it also helps is we'll help you build out a distribution plan based off your operating agreement. And then when it goes to actually sending out distributions, you don't have to go to your bank. You can just send it through the portal, and just feel comfortable that you're not doing it in Excel. So you don't have to have another step of trying to run all this through Excel. You're just doing it in the system. You just hit distribution, go over a couple steps, and then it's sent out. So it helps that process as well too.
I just did a distribution. I just did one a few days ago. I logged in, and it's you just hit the amount, whatever it was, the let's say whatever it was, and then it just then you have all the investors kind of splits it up to all of them. And then
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It makes your life easier. And then the investor,
I mean, we found a lot of issues with Excel because Excel will round to two numbers, but it may have a bunch hidden behind it where it's calculating. So it's going to tell you it's paying out 100 grand, but it's probably paying out $99,999.98, which isn't a big deal. But accounting wise, Excel will tell you what you actually input it to tell you. So if you put your waterfall plan in incorrectly with like an IRR hurdle or something, it's going to give you the incorrect, it's going to give you the result that you're kind of asking it to give you, which may not be correct. So, so our system kind of blocks that or prevents that. It'll go, we'll help you set up the hurdle, at least the first few times for sure. Before you get on a distribution, like you and I usually do. So you'll reach out to me. We'll kind of walk through that, make sure it's good until you feel comfortable with the system. And then we kind of let you go.
I was reaching out to you when I was in Brazil because I was like, oh man.
Well, I know. It's telling like, go enjoy yourself.
Yeah. I know. Oh man, you always work when you're an entrepreneur. You're always working. When
I take days off, it feels good, but you're always thinking of it. It's almost like you're thinking about your kid staying the night. Not that I have a kid, but like your kid staying the night somewhere. You're like, all right, what's going on there? So whenever I walk away from my email, I'm always thinking about it.
Yeah, but I couldn't complain. I mean, I'm blessed. I'm at a 5-star resort, by the pool, the beach, and I have my laptop out. If I have to send a few emails.
Looks like the hair got a little yellow, huh? You get a little blonde in there a little bit or no?
Maybe it's gray, I don't know. I miss the sun. I miss Brazil so much. I want to go back, but that's the beautiful thing, with having you guys as a partner, where it makes life easier with investors. Like a lot of times they may have questions and I don't have the answer to this investor portal. I'm like, talk to Brad, and you jump in and help, which is awesome. Makes my life easier.
But we try. We definitely try. So appreciate that.
And that's important. If you're a new sponsor, really the whole idea is with your investors, you got to make their life easy, and you have to, you want to give them a nice interface. You want to make their life easy, and you want something that looks professional, and that's what you guys offer.
Yeah.
And which is really cool is I have an investor go in there and all of a sudden he's just signing up for an investment, and then boom, it spits out the documents you sign digitally and goes back and forth. It's just like a really smooth process, which is, it's nice, it definitely, and you guys are more cost, efficient or more cost friendly than other companies as well.
Yeah, we try. I mean, we still have to make some money as well too, but it's I mean, ultimately, it's all about like just training. So if you're running a project too, we tell you you shouldn't be paying it. So I mean, Levine Capital is paying, but then you've got some sort of fees that you can charge back to the fund, and then have the fund pay you back. Especially if you're a GP that has 4 different projects. So whatever we charge you, we always suggest, charge that back to each project. So it should be almost like leasing software for each project.
You don't nickel and dime like some of these other guys, like they literally nickel and dime you for everything, like I could go on about that, but it kind of gets annoying,
Yeah. Well, we're trying to make it as smooth as good a process as it's going to be, it's not the most exciting thing, but it is to us. And it keeps us up at night, just thinking new stuff. Or if someone has suggestions, like how can we get that through? Like I was talking to Kevin earlier today about, we've got, I think the platform's amazing. What it does is it provides that professionalism for you. But then once I start thinking that, then it's to the point where, all right, something's going to happen where we need to add a bunch of different stuff. And we've got, I've got 10 different things in my head about things that we're going to do down the road. Kevin has 10 different things that are completely different than what I think. So I love that about this company is that we're always looking to, like I said, if it's not broke, we're going to break it, and keep trying to change and update and upgrade and come up with different ideas that no one else is thinking of to add, that should add value or hopefully give you back some time so you can go down to Brazil and just work from Brazil full time. I think that would probably be the full goal there.
That's the goal. Like, my wife and I, our goal is to, but we're gonna have kids. But before we have kids, we want to travel and be able to work this private equity business remotely, and then when we have kids, have them travel. But that's the whole idea. You know, if you're a sponsor, you got to make your life easy, and that's what you guys help. And what other updates? I remember you mentioned something before. You're going to have a new interface coming as well.
Yeah, so we're updating the investor portals. When the investors log in, so that's been about since the beginning of InvestNext. So that'll launch this quarter. So quarter 2, that should be out. We're very excited. I mean, we're happy with the old interface, but we're happy to bring a bunch of new features. And Onge, you probably haven't met Onge, but Andre's been pretty key in the development of it all. With our company, the look of it. So we're excited about it. It'll bring a new kind of, I think, addition to the platform that we've needed. But I think it looks so professional. It's got, I think the goal of this is to make it as user-friendly for your investors that they're not asking you a ton of questions and work their way around. So it should help them work their way around the portal a little bit smoother, a little easier. And like I said, hopefully when you've got offerings, they can see it. Maybe they log in, they didn't even know you had an offering, and they can, it's going to be right in their face. Or new updates, those are going to be right in their face. New documents, and those are right in their face. So they're not searching through to try to find these things.
That's important. Some of my clients or they're elderly, like my father, they're in their 70s or higher, and they figure it out. They can, so it's easy to figure out for the older. They're not they're older generation. They're not tech savvy. And that's important. If you have investors that are, they didn't grow up with all this, you gotta make their life easy.
That's what we do too. We kind of cater it to, like, if my dad logged in, my dad's terrible at technology. or one of our main developers, Matthew, he's always like, all right, would my mom be able to get through this? So we always cater it to Matthew's mom. So if Matthew's mom can run through it, then we're confident that other people can. So that's funny.
No, it's important. For any syndicator operator, make sure that your platform could cater to the audience that's they're the baby boomers, let's call them, or make sure it can cater to them. Now, any
people want them frustrated, especially since they'll probably have a decent amount of chunk of change with you. But I think that if you can make them less frustrated, so that's what we're excited about the portal is we feel that you can maneuver around it pretty easily.
100%. Actually, that's important because you want to make sure your investors are happy. If they're happy, they will invest more money with you, and they'll also refer other people. And that we had that happen with us. I mean, all of a sudden, I get an email. There's another commitment. I was like, oh, out of the blue, and then I get a referral, and they come in, So
those are the best when you're not expecting. They're just kind of rolling through. So that's kind of the goal, to essentially I think we've talked about, is to give you your goals to be Brazil, to give you some time back. So hopefully the platform does that, and that's kind of what we need to do.
That's the goal, because when you have distributions, I want to make it easy. I don't want to be killing myself with brain damage figuring out numbers. I want to figure it out, make the transfer, and then have the investors happy because the numbers are accurate, and because you don't want to mess up the distribution. That could you want to look like you guys make us look like the hero. That's really the
I mean, you guys are doing the heavy lifting, so we're just kind of provide for you to set it down. But yeah, we appreciate that's the goal kind of with the distribution plan and all that, is to have it so it figures it out for you, so you're not doing that aspect. And some of the newer GPs or syndicators that haven't gone through that don't understand what they eventually kind of like. So some of the features that they think, what do I need that? Eventually they'll say, all right.
You gotta do things right. You gotta do
that. Yeah.
You know, I learned that like you end up trying to take shortcuts. It's going to cost you in the long run.
And like I said, it should be, I mean, you should be able to bill that back to the project. It's just like leasing. So it's like, it's the cost of doing business for that specific project. So you, whatever it is, just line item out of each project. Shouldn't be something you, I mean, you pay for it, you know, if we charge you, but then, granted, you don't want to pay too much for it. You don't want, you know, the project paying too much, but it should come out of that. So.
No, 100%. And that's, you know, you learn as you go. I know, you know, Jason Yarusi, he's great. I think he's using you guys too now, right?
Yeah, I'm actually traveling. So I left Detroit in between Christmas and New Year. So I went to North Carolina to see my buddy, and then went to South Carolina for a bit, a couple months, Savannah, Jacksonville. Anyway, made my way there. So now I'm up in Nashville right now. So.
Oh, you're in Nashville?
Yeah, I'm going to see Yarusi tomorrow. So we're going to lunch tomorrow.
Oh, so. He's actually he's having a webinar tonight.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, the multifamily formula live. He's having it with David Hansel about raising money. Yeah, he's having we're having a live webinar tonight with him.
Oh, that's cool. I'm supposed to meet with another client at 7. I'll have to check and see when it is.
He's a great guy though. And you know what? And like, I know he has his education, and you know, part of new syndicators, they need to know, I mean, this is an important thing that you need to have if you're going to be in this business.
Yeah. And I mean, you touched something right there, is that a lot of these training programs this is how you find the deal. This is how you underwrite the deal. This is how you get the banking for it. This is how you call people to get off market deals. But then it kind of stops there, right? Now you have the deal. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
You know how to read an operating agreement. You know how your investor should sign it. If I'm investing as an LLC, where should I sign? If I'm investing as an individual, joint rights, you know, where should I sign, et cetera. So this really helps with that aspect that you never really get taught. So that they don't, you know, I don't see those in a lot of training programs. So
yeah, I don't.
That's where it's very helpful. So
yeah, no, I'm sure you know, Jason's using you as an experienced operator himself. That must mean something, that you guys are doing something right, you know.
Yeah, and he's another good one that's always given us ideas, tweaks or suggestions, and yeah, he's got a phenomenal operation. And like you said, he's a great syndicator, great at raising capital, but he's in a, you know, even better person. So
yeah, no, some of my good friends, Mark, YZ, Gonzalo, they work with him. They invested on a few of his deals. Actually, the one in Murfreesboro, and I think that's his latest acquisition, one of the ones. And probably that's why Jason moved down to Nashville, because of his holdings now are there. I think it's awesome. I was in Nashville when I was in high school. We played golf. Do you play golf at all by any chance?
Yeah, I play a ton. That's why I go back to Michigan. My golf. I've been traveling in my golf league. It's the only responsibility I really have.
Wait, you're in a golf league?
Yeah.
No. Oh.
Yeah, every Thursday. So every Thursday, I take off like late afternoon. So you won't find me late afternoon. But it's the only, I golf. So I'm back in Michigan. My golf league starts next Thursday. So that's why.
What's your handicap?
I'm a 7, but I've been playing like I'm a 14. I've been terrible. My handicap never goes back up, but usually
you're good. I kill a lot of worms. I just started getting back into it.
I'm probably gonna play 100 times this year.
Yeah. My goal is too. Because like I've been on and off with golf, and I finally pulled out my golf clubs. I actually live 2 minutes down the road from a driving range. I've been going like every day, sometimes twice a day. I caught the golf bug. It's crazy. Like I played, but now I'm like addicted to it. And
are you a baseball player originally?
Yeah, I used to play baseball. Yeah.
Did you have that baseball swing then for golf? That sometimes ruins the swing.
Yeah, but when I was young, like in high school, I took golf lessons. I went to golf camp at Rutgers, but you know, and I would play like, you know, I would play, but I'm not good, you know, but actually, interestingly enough, I met up with my cousin, second cousin. I met him for the first time on Easter, my mom's side. And turns out he's a really good golfer. So we met up at the driving range and he gave me some tips and it worked.
Yeah,
Like,
if you can take direction well, that's good. Some people can't, or some people go back to what they are because it's such a mind game.
mental, yeah,
So
yeah.
you like I'll teach my dad some stuff and he'll like I move him to where he needs to be and he just moves back before he hits and like stop doing
Yeah,
that.
and
You're gonna be the same player if you keep,
yeah, and my father tries to teach me. He plays a lot. We played recently in March in Jupiter at some course. It's a nice course, and actually he's flying back on
imagine.
this weekend. And my goal was to try to get him to play, maybe a few other people. But we gotta play, man. Like I want to, like,
Yeah, I gotta head out out your way. There's only 5 states I haven't been to, and there's 4 of them are over your neighborhood. So like,
hopefully I get my wife to play too. I want to try to get her to play as well. Once you play, because people get like, oh, it's fun, it's amazing. You know what's amazing about it? Because like I used to wrestle. Like I can't go out like, hey, you want to wrestle? And I've been trying to find hobbies, like maybe,
I definitely don't want to wrestle you.
Yeah, and no matter that, like I used to try to find hobbies like jujitsu, but then like I have old injuries that sometimes happen, but it's not social. To me, it's not really, but golf is like a social game. You're out in the sun, you're with your friends, and to me, like I don't try to take it seriously. I just want to have fun. I like to count the good shots. Those make me happy, and just be around people. And it's just a great way just to get a group of friends to go out and hit some balls and do it, and just, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's good for business.
Business, yeah, of course.
Good for, mentally. Yeah,
mentally.
If you do bad, just kind of let it go. I was a goalie in hockey, and it used to just be, all right, you got to forget it. So if I let in a goal, if I sat there and stewed about it, I was probably going to let in another goal. So it's and you kind of see that with golf. If you hit a bad shot, oh well, you're not gonna. Every shot's not gonna be good. So
it's a stress. What's interesting too is a stress reliever, because like being 2 minutes away from the golf, literally, like I'll work at my desk, and this is recent, and I'm like, I'm gonna go hit a bucket of balls, and I feel good. I feel amazing, because like now you're working from home, kind of, mentally, it just, kind of affects you a little bit. And you got to get some sun, and this is a way for my own mental health to go out and hit balls, and I feel good,
Yeah, I agree. It's a fantastic sport.
So anyway, this is an amazing show. I could talk forever. We hit it off. I always enjoy speaking with you and your team, and actually I'm probably gonna want to talk to you later on because I have a few questions and about the portal and a few things I want to do in there. And I also I'm going to add you to my, I'm going to save you now as golf buddies, because I've been organizing my phone as golf buddies, so I could, potentially say, hey, what are you doing this weekend? And I want to travel actually too. Maybe we'll take a trip to Nashville, and play. But let me know if you're around here or whatever it is, because I definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, we got like Scandarianos over that way. So
he plays golf too. He plays too. Yeah,
I know Levine does too. So we've got a few people out that way that we got to get out to and see.
And there's a lot of great golf courses in New Jersey.
Oh,
I grew up in Colts Neck, which is like, Colts Neck High School. We had we were like state champs in golf. We had Hominy Hill. We got a lot of good private courses. Due Process. You have Trump National. We have Pebble Creek. Actually, I know Pebble Creek. Ray, the family, great family. They own Huddy's Inn and they own Pebble Creek. They're awesome people, and the restaurant's amazing too. And they just moved their location of Huddy's right next to the golf course. It's like right there. So we could play there too. Awesome food, awesome golf course.
Yeah, I'll make a trip out there at some point, maybe this summer, to come see you guys. So
please let me know, and we'll get maybe we'll get Jason, Anthony, we'll get a foursome. That's the only caveat is it's only actually what was really funny. I was playing with my father in Jupiter, and there was like a 5-some or 6-some are going on, and we're like, what's going on here? Like you saw like 2 golf carts, or 3 of them playing. My father was like, this is ridiculous. You know, it's like packed. These people are like, there's like 6 of them playing. And my father, yeah, and sometimes people, you know, they break the rules and golf rules.
Yeah.
The golf ranger comes out, and no, you got to split it up, you know. And that's why he moved down to Palm Beach, which is awesome. He lives in he has a house in East Point. There's 2 golf courses there, 2 private gated community. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's so nice down there, especially in the winter.
He lives the life. He's a snowbird. He's coming back here, you know. He's out there 6 months in a day for tax reasons. He's smart, you know, and then comes back here the summertime. He's going to be back here, and my goal is to play some golf with him and enjoy it, you know.
Yeah.
But again, Brad, thank you so much. So again, where can they find you? You know, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, InvestNext.com is the best way. So InvestNext.com, you can schedule a demo if you want to check out the platform. We've got a LinkedIn page too. Should have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm not really on those things, but so you can check us out. Check out InvestNext.com. But yeah, hit us up.
And you can always reach out to me. So please, you know, like, share, sign up for the YouTube channel, Learn, Invest, Grow Show. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself. You know, if you need help getting a hold of Brad, you know, by all means, you can reach out to myself.
Yeah, especially for your funds, you've got that aggregation fund, so that thing's solid too. So
yeah, no, that thing's amazing. It's really it's a feeder fund, so it's actually simple on our end. If you know, it's very simple. Money comes in, goes out. You know.
Great for investors. So
yeah, no, and if you're actually a looking to get into the business, I know what's his name, Hunter Thompson, or
Hunter Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson. Yeah, I know, like, he does a lot of feeders and stuff. And it's a great way to get started if you're looking to get into the business. And then you need a good fund administrator. The reason why it's easy, because you're not the GP. But the only difficult part is you have to vet good GPs.
Right.
That's the important part. And then you need to vet your investment management software, which we did. And the best way sometimes is a referral, and Anthony referred me to you guys. I took his word for it. He's a sharp kid, good friend of mine. Awesome. Like, actually, I want to give him a call shortly. It's been a while since, you know, I see he's doing amazing things, and he's a great guy. Red Knight and his partner Brian. Never met his partner Brian, but definitely want to meet him. Played in the NFL, which is pretty cool.
Too. He's really nice.
So anyway, again, like, share, smash the like button, sign up for our YouTube channel, reach out to myself, reach out to Brad, and until next time, happy investing, everybody.